after they just gave up a score.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. Watson now to throw. He rifles one that's intercepted. And he will bring it back. It's a pick 6 for a Bengals TD. Well, we went from scoreless to 13-0 in a hurry. First, their offense had the touchdown, and now the defense comes through with one.
You can't get a better 1-2 punch than that. Follow up a touchdown offense by getting one on defense. If they keep that effort up, you'll take the other sideline out of this one very quickly.
McPherson now for the extra point. And it's good, and they have jumped out here to a quick 14-0 first quarter lead. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6, and now the kick is away. From his end zone, Isaiah McKenzie. And no alley to be found. The coverage was solid, and he's dropped at the 18. The Browns drive about to get started. And they are trying to create some still the first half of the season. But this is a big matchup no matter where it falls, because these are the top 2 teams right now in that division.
And if you can build a bit of a cushion as you head towards the second part of the season, that allows you to survive the expected injuries, potential upset losses, all of those things, and still be in good shape.
So after the sack, a scenario you certainly don't work on too often. 2nd and 24. Faking the give. Now Watson. Man open. That's Anthony Schwartz.
And that was yardage that they needed there after the sack on first down. They didn't get all of it back, but now they look at third down as a manageable situation, one that they have a much better chance of picking up.
So 3rd and 5, defensively expecting pass. They've got 6 DBs out there. Here's Watson. Looking for Cooper, and it's intercepted. And the Bengals are going to take possession of the football.
Partner, I think this is where long-term starters in the NFL separate themselves from the rest of the pack, because there's still 3 full quarters left in this one. More than enough time to move past a pair of early mistakes and find a way to lead your team to a win. Mental resiliency, a characteristic every NFL team's looking for in their quarterback.
And a hard-working run here as he's got it inside the 20, down to the 17. 47 yards now on the ground on just 7 carries. Well, they're making a real first-quarter statement with a run game, no doubt.
For those who remember old-school football, running it, establishing things, seeing backs find holes, get through them, they've got to like what they're seeing from this unit so far. Right now, they've decided to, as you said, establish the run game, and they've been successful doing it.
And he will take it on in for a Bengals touchdown. Joe Mixon, his 2nd rushing touchdown on the year. And the Bengals are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. Boy, still in the first quarter, and look out. I mean, they are on pace for over 80 points in this game. I don't know that they'll get there, CD, but this has been impressive to watch so far.
That certainly would be history in the making, wouldn't it, partner? I'm glad we're here to actually watch and see if it actually happens, although, like you, I have my doubts, but they are firmly in control of this game.
Extra point by McPherson, up and good, and that makes the score 21-0. So how about this for a start? 21-0 here in the first as they kick this one away. McKenzie now from his end zone. And nowhere to go. He only makes it to the 5.
Well, not exactly a banner return, so he doesn't give his offense a whole lot of room to work with. They've got to go a long way now to try and score some points. I do know this from experience. There will be a few comments muttered his way by the offense as they head out on the field.
The Cleveland offense ready to go. And job one here, Charles, just keep possession of the football. 2 drives, 2 turnovers to this point.
You're exactly right, Doctor. Hippocratic oath. First, do no harm. And right now, they're harming themselves on offense.
I like that. No one is mistaking me for a doctor, though. But thank you, Dr. Davis. The sack recorded. It's a loss of 5, and now it's 2nd down. Well, last game he had 2 sacks. Got another one here, picked up right where he left off.
Brandon, he spent the entire offseason working on new moves, new techniques, trying to add to his arsenal of pass rush moves. Certainly paying dividends in what we've seen so far.
Got to assume this defense will be charging again here. It's 2nd and 15. From the end zone, Watson. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
There's a lot about that play you could easily see coming. Backed up in the shadow of their own goal line, you know they're going to face pressure.
He's lucky his arm was going forward. It was close, but it was going forward.
Yeah, it could have been a safety or even given up a defensive touchdown.
Facing the prospect of a punt from their own end zone, they need some cushion. Let's see what they can do on 3rd down. To throw from his end zone, Watson. He's got his receiver, Cooper. And he's able to get this one all the way past the 30. Able to convert on 3rd and 14. A terrific play call. Well, that'll help get you out of danger. So much for playing it conservatively back towards your own goal line.
That aggressive mentality, sometimes you can use it, and they did there against a defense who probably thought to themselves, there's no way they take a shot here this deep in their own territory.
Now he's going to swing this one out to his running back. A nice little screen. They get 6 on 1st down.
Good call there on 1st down. And, Brandon, I'm getting better over the years and not screaming out, screen, screen, screen with my defensive training. They want to keep those pass rushers honest, and they did so there, and they wind up picking up positive yardage.
21-0 our score after 1. Second down at 4. Now here's a little touch pass as they tap it quickly to their receiver. And he's going to have a Browns 1st down as he's got this up to the 45-yard line. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Watson looks to throw again. They set up the screen to Chubb. And he'll be brought down, losing yardage back at the 40. So it goes as a completed pass, but they lose a full 5 yards.
Well, that wasn't exactly a work of art, was it?
No, that wasn't a thing of beauty. That's just why I don't play in points per reception fantasy leagues.
Is that what they call PPR?
The receiver still gets a point there. Yeah. And you went that far back. No bueno.
Well, I'll tell you what. I wish I had their defense on my fantasy game.
Throwing again on 2nd down. Watson. That's into the hands of Donovan Peoples-Jones. And he's got another 1st down as the tackle's going to be made at the Bengals 35. A really nice gain of 25 yards.
And this has been a nice answer to the touchdown drive against them a few minutes ago because they've come out and reestablished the tempo. A nice throw there, and they're putting together a very strong drive as a response.
So they'll come up in Bengals territory now with a 1st and 10 at the 35-yard line. And he's swallowed up right near the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there. 2nd down.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is a force of nature at the defensive tackle position. Yes, he's as big as they come, but still plenty agile. He's able to make a nice play there to swallow up the ball carrier.
So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. After the run, Watson going to throw. His throw incomplete.
Quarterbacks work all the time on manipulating a defense with their eyes and their head movement. In this case, he just stared the receiver down. That allowed for excellent coverage, able to knock that one away.
They come up to the line now facing a 3rd and 10 after the incompletion. Now it's Watson. He's going to let this go. Back of the end zone. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down.
They've had multiple opportunities on offense and still haven't scored any points. Felt like they wanted to loosen things up, throw it downfield, and see if maybe they could get a big play and a quick strike.
Facing this big first-half deficit, they keep the field goal unit on the sideline. They're going for it. They will indeed snap it to Watson. He's going to look end zone here for Cooper. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. The Browns unable to move the chains on 4th down. And the Bengals will get the football back. Well, that's another mistake there on the drop pass on 4th. And we've seen them do things like this all game.
It's not hard to figure out why they're down by that deficit. They haven't made plays that are going to keep them in the game or win the game all game long. That's another example right there. It all boils down at the end of it to execution. Either you make the play or you don't.
He's got a man complete. And they're going to get this down to about the 17-yard line here. If there was one knock on Joe Burrow coming out of LSU, it was arm strength, but kind of put those doubts to rest right there.
And this is more of the same right here. These guys have definitely been the aggressors here in the first half. They pushed the envelope in terms of play calls, and that's reflected in the score. And now they're in a position to widen this lead.
So the big play means just like that, they'll operate from the red zone now on 1st down. Running left, it's Mixon. And they'll lose yardage here. Knocked back to the 19-yard line. What a difference a play makes. A huge step forward and now a small step back as he loses a yard or two. Looking at a 2nd and 11 now after the loss. Burrow will throw. Escaping the pressure right. Now Burrow loses the football. And this is picked up by the Browns. There he goes left side. The 40, 20, 10, 5, and he's into the end zone. It's a fumble return for Browns TD. Backbreaker, that'll drive the coach, the offensive coordinator, just crazy. You get it all the way down there in the red zone, can't capitalize. Instead, they go the other way on the fumble return for a touchdown.
How about the aggressiveness of the defense, though? They're not about to just fall on a fumble, are they? Scoop and score is their motto, and they just did it.
Extra point by York is up and good. And they'll cut the lead to 21-7. Here's the kickoff now as he'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. Returning from his end zone is Barner. And he'll be stopped right around where he would have been had he gone down to a knee, maybe a yard shy of there at the 24.
Here we go.
The Bengals drive about to get going. And that last possession, really a gut punch. You seemingly had it working. You were in the midst of a very strong drive, then suddenly the fumble, and you're watching the back of a defender's jersey as he brings it all the way in the other direction.
Not much more I can add to that. I thought you summarized it perfectly, partner. You just got to regroup and start putting another drive together. That's all you can do.
They'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
And that's what I'd like to see out of this defense, a little fire, a little toughness. It hasn't been the best first half for them. They did do a nice job there, forcing a loss on that play.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. And all the way down to the 9. 129 yards rushing for him as he has been tough to stop here in this first half. One of the reasons that this team is on this win streak, big runs like that.
When you see runs like that broken off, you know this is a team that's confident running the football. A big reason why this streak has occurred, they come together, had a plan, and stuck to it. And when you get big-time runs like that, it makes it easier to stay with it, doesn't it?
And he'll take this from the 9 down to about the 7.
All of a sudden, those lanes that were there earlier in the drive dry up near the goal line. That's a good job defensively to diagnose the run and stop it for a very short pickup.
The line of scrimmage, the 7 now on 2nd and goal. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. They'll try again here from the 7 on 2nd and goal. They'll stay on the ground, Mixon again. And he'll take this into the end zone for a Bengal TD. Joe Mixon with his 2nd touchdown here in this first half. And the Bengals take a 3-touchdown lead. McPherson on for the point after. He knocks it through. It's 28-7. After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Browns drive about to get started. They've got some stuff to build on from that last drive because they moved the football, CD, and then they tried to go for it on 4th down, didn't convert, probably left a bitter taste in their mouths.
I would say so, and I think that they go out in this series determined for that not to happen again. In fact, they don't even want to get to a 4th down opportunity. They just want to make sure they get it done within the parameters that they've set for themselves. Run their offense, get it into the end zone. Yeah, I think a little bit of determination and a dash of anger.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. And nowhere to run on the interior of that defensive line. He'll get back only to the line of scrimmage. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it.
Now that's a mountain of a man that just made that stop, isn't it? But he's more than that. This guy's nimble and quick. More than a space eater. He just made a great play there.
And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game. Here's Watson. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. And the Bengals are going to take possession of the football. An unfortunate sequence there, trying to get points before intermission, but now the interception, and their opponents have a chance to possibly pad their lead.
Yeah, they had an opportunity there, and they weren't able to capitalize on it, and that's something that could come back and haunt them later. They're begging their defense now to keep them from scoring before the half ends.
11 Thomas.
On 1st and 10, Joe Burrow. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And down he goes, taking it inside the 10, just shy of the 5 at the 6. And it's caught. Touchdown. Jamar Chase with touchdown number 7 on the year. And the Bengals continue to pull away here in this first half. He was on point throwing the ball right there. He had the big play to get him down close, and then he delivers a touchdown pass on 1st and goal.
And you mentioned the big play that got him down close. I think that big play left him reeling a little bit. They didn't recover from it. And you know, they always talk about having to have a short memory on defense after a big play against you. Looks like their memory was a little too long there.
After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. The Cleveland offense ready to go. Things for them, just to put it bluntly, man, it has been tough sledding here in the first half, facing that big deficit. The clock is dwindling now. Maybe if they can get... And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Jonathan Abram picks it. And the Bengals are going to take possession of the football. Well, Charles, you know, so close to halftime there. You throw the interception. Not only that, you do give it to them in plus territory as well.
Yeah, they were pushing real hard to try and get something more on the board on their side of the ledger right before the half. Looking at it with 20/20 hindsight, though, might have been better to hand it off a few times, hoping to get something to break instead of putting the ball in the air and, of course, putting the ball in jeopardy.
And now this is intercepted. My goodness. Picked off by Greg Newsome. And the Browns are going to take over here at their own 22-yard line. Well, he's certainly not been afraid to take some chances downfield. Now, look, it's paid off for him a couple of times. That time, not so fortunate.
And that's where I want to start, what you said. It's paid off a couple of times. So his aggressiveness has been good for his offense for the most part. So he throws an interception there. No one likes that, but I would not rein him back in. The return on investment thus far has been pretty good. 2 touchdowns to 1 interception.
The Browns drive about to get started. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete.
A very limited time left to get into field goal range before the half, and they tried to get it all on one throw right there.
They'll send a receiver in motion to the left. To throw on 2nd and 10. Watson. And my goodness, another interception. Chidobe Awuzie with a pick. And the Bengals are going to take possession of the football. Wow, a big mistake there. Late interception in this first half, and that could lead to a field goal try the other way.
Yeah, I think at this point you just had to say, let's take a knee and go into the half and regroup. Let's just talk it over a little bit. I wonder, partner, was the analytics coach in his head a little bit? Maybe go ahead and press it and try and get some points? While the old school coach probably would have said, take the knee, let's get out of here.
Now we could see points the other way here.
On 2.
And you see the clock almost empty, so this is likely the last play in the second quarter. And with the clock reading zeros. He is into the end zone. What an exclamation mark to the end of this second quarter.
Indeed. Indeed. Well, my education continues in this game, I've got to tell you, because there's not an analyst in the world that would have said pass up the field goal here, go for it, and expect for it to be successful, and it was. I mean, they're playing this one just like a video game.
Especially for the final play of the first half to have the guts to do that. But I guess, what do we say? The end will justify the means, right?
No doubt about it. For you and me, we live, we learn.
And we welcome you back now. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, getting set for quarter number 3 here.
Kevin McPherson to kick off for Cincinnati.
The Browns going to see the football first, but they trail here as we resume play on EA Sports. McKenzie now from his end zone. And that decision to bring it out ends up not being a good one. Costs him about 5 yards as he's tackled at the 20. The Cleveland offense ready to go. And they have a mountainous deficit looming in front of them. It was really, Charles, a disaster of a first half. So where do they go from here?
Well, first thing they have to remember is that what's done is done, and there's no going back. And now you have to play this drive by drive. Obviously, come back in this spot, pretty unlikely. But you still have to go out, take pride in your work, and try and put something together here in the second half.
So now they have to contend with 2nd and 13 after the first down run goes backwards. And again, it's Chubb. And they'll bring him down at the 27-yard line. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets them up for 3rd down.
I don't think anyone thought we'd see a run facing 2nd and that long, and that element of surprise, I think, helped make that play so successful. Nice effort on that carry, and it took what seemed like 2nd and impossible. Now has him within throwing range of a first down.
They'll run for it. Here's Chubb. And some room to maneuver. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. A good pickup there for the Browns, 15 yards.
Running lanes were at a premium in the first half, but he's able to find some room there, and he's hoping that that's a precursor of a big second half.
First down, they'll run with Chubb. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. 2nd down. We're just looking at the scoreboard and where we're at in the 3rd quarter. I don't know that it's going to matter much at this point, CD, but these small runs on the ground, they're not going to get it done.
No, they're not. And right now, the guys stopping the run have been superior in this ball game, giving them no openings, no seams, and now they've got this game well in hand.
3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. They'll try the draw now with Chubb. And there just continues to be nowhere to run. He's bottled up again at the line of scrimmage. Officially no gain on the play, and they're left with a 3rd and 8.
What an advantage having an elite guy in the middle of the defensive line, because not only does he take up the space and let the linebackers run free, but he can also make plays himself, as we just saw there.
The Bengals with 2 extra DBs, a nickel look on 3rd.
Blanketing the passing lanes.
Watson steps away to his left. And tight coverage there. It's knocked away, incomplete.
I'm sure it was a tough halftime trying to figure out some strategy to get things going, trailing by a lot when they went into the locker room. He's just trying every avenue to spark his team here to begin the third quarter. Not a lot going on that play, though.
This is it! Alert!
Here we go on fourth. Watson. And that's going to be caught by Peoples-Jones. And he's going to pick up the Browns' first down as they manage to convert. And that'll keep the drive alive. Fourth down conversion plays, you usually think 1, 2, 3 yards, maybe 10. Not there. What a huge pickup as the Sticks make a drastic shift forward. So the big play gets them all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10. Call it a gain of 4 on first, and that'll make it 2nd down.
But that call makes sense because they've been throwing it well on this drive, and once again they show passing formation, showing the shotgun. Then they ran out of it. That's a nice play by them defensively, though, to hold it to a short gain.
The ball resting on the 20. Here's 2nd and 6. And trouble trying the middle here. And his rough afternoon continues. He's going nowhere again. No gain on the play there, so they're left with a 3rd down and 6.
They just keep trying, but so far, finding no room for him to run.
None whatsoever. In fact, you run the numbers, he's under 3 yards a carry at the moment. And a nickel look here for the Bengals as they try to defend this on 3rd. To throw is Watson. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete. What a difference a week makes. Last week he hit on over 80% of his passes. This week he's down under 50%. What do you see as the difference?
Well, I think we're used to seeing a drop. If someone's over 80%, they're not going to hold that number, not in this league. But a drop under 50%, that just tells me that the defense, they spent a lot of extra time on game films and came up with a really good plan to try and chip away at his timing.
On 4th down, Watson. And this is caught. Amari Cooper. And he's going to pick up the Browns' first down as they manage to convert. And that'll keep the drive alive. Just his 2nd catch of the game so far. This one moves the chains. Certainly worth noting he's now 1 catch away from 600. He's at 599 in his career. Under a minute to go in this 3rd quarter as they come up 1st and 10. And he'll get this one down to about the 10-yard line. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9. This defense just continues to bottle up that ground game. And look, I mean, the deficit right now for this offense is so big that it might not matter. But you're still in the 3rd quarter. They're probably going to have to try things through the air, Charles.
I agree with you totally. That's what they'll have to do. They do need to run it occasionally to take a few hits off the quarterback because right now, you just know those pass rushers are fired up to get after him.
So they'll get a little extra time to come up with his 3rd down play as we've played 3 quarters. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. The offense on 3rd down, lacking much success, just 2 for 7 to this point. This will be 3rd and 6. And now here is another interception. And the Bengals are going to take possession here at their own 6-yard line. But with this advantage, this defense knew that passes were coming, and they stayed in position, Charles. and picked one off here in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, what a way to cap things off, huh? Because I think this is part of the game within the game. They see the scoreboard, they see what they can accomplish, and they went for it.
He sets to fire deep, and he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete.
Partner, in the sportsmanship handbook, there's something to be said for calling the dogs off in a blowout. But these defenders, they also know this is the NFL, and it's their job to stop them, whether they're in the game or they're down by a handful of touchdowns.
11.
Burrow on play action. And he comes back with one complete. And a productive gain out to the 14 after starting at the 7. It's a gain of 7.
11.
On third down, Mixon. And this is not going to be enough. Was in search of 2 yards and only got halfway there.
So many things go into making a good play on defense. In this situation, just not being blown out of the way was a big start, and then a nice tackle to finish things off.
McKenzie now to return it. And when it's said and done, it's a 58-yard punt. And the Browns will take over 1st and 10. The Browns drive about to get started. Where we stand right now in the fourth quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about, okay, how do we put this behind us and get better for the next time out? This, they'll use as motivation for the rest of the time that they play to hopefully never be in this type of situation again.
And some room to work. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. 45 yards rushing for him in the ball game now on 14 carries.
Well, depending on the temperament of the head coach, he's either turning to the bench and screaming, "Where was that all game?" or maybe just kind of keeping it to himself and saying, okay, it's something to build on, and a positive comes out of a bad game, because those are going to happen from time to time. We'll see how he gets his team ready to go in the future. But that run right there, that's what they were looking for.
2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
I think this offense, specifically this running game, they're going to have to find a way to turn the page, because they haven't found a way to run it effectively thus far, and it's cost them.
Now they contend with a 2nd and 12 after the loss. They'll try the air now with Watson. And he's just throwing the ball up for grabs now. Fortunately, that one going to fall incomplete.
We've seen that the deep ball's been a part of their game plan all afternoon, but they've had trouble hooking up on it, unable to successfully find the end zone over the top.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. And they'll send the slot in motion left. Throwing on 3rd down, Watson. And my goodness, another interception. And the Bengals are going to take over at their own 30-yard line. Well, they've got the huge lead. Now they have another interception on the defensive side. Seems like everything they touch in this one, Charles, turns to gold.
And they have to be awfully happy right there to get what appears to be one more for the road. It helps seal away one of their best efforts of the season.
On one, ready?
The Bengals drive about to get going. And after the interception, they are sitting in an even better spot with the ball and a comfortable fourth quarter lead. And he's got a good gain of 7 up to the 37. So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3. 2nd down, and again it's Davis Price. And he's dropped right at the 40. Gain of 3.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where there'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
And a strong run that time as he's across midfield and down to the 43. Give him 17 and a Cincinnati first down.
Brandon, when a defense just simply can't get off the field on third down, we all know how important that down is for both sides of the ball. You often feel like you're just a step behind whatever they're doing offensively.
And one of the differences, under a heavy rush, and down he goes.
Here we go.
They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway.
12.
After the sack on first down, Burrow going up top. And the defense has it covered. It's intercepted. Picked off by Greg Newsome. And the Browns are going to take possession here at their own 33. And we are inside of 2 minutes left in this lopsided affair. The Cleveland offense ready to go. Well, we said it at halftime that they would need a nearly perfect second half to erase that deficit that they were facing, CD. But unfortunately, the second half has pretty much been a carbon copy of the first.
Yeah, that early lead was almost insurmountable the way their opponent was playing. And partner, they do have some good news, though. This one is getting close to being over, and they can try and hit the reset button starting tomorrow.
61 yards rushing for him now as he's carried it 16 times. Not defensively with this lead in the fourth quarter. I guess you can allow a run of that magnitude.
You're right about that, but really the focus has got to be don't fall in love with the idea that you're getting big runs now. You're right. They're actually being allowed. They've got to think really hard about getting some chunk plays through the air, too.
And good penetration here. He'll get this down only to about the 49-yard line. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
Oh, there's plenty of traffic waiting for him up the middle. But give him credit, he tried barreling through anyway. They're fortunate to get a yard out of that one.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. They run it again with Chubb. Now they nearly sprung him that time as he takes this all the way down to the 37. That'll move the sticks for the Browns, a gain of 12.
So after a run like that, I will guarantee that the head coach is saying to himself, maybe even over his headsets to the rest of the staff, where was that all game long? We needed that. That's the type of run we planned for going into the game. Didn't get much of that, but let's move it forward. Let's build on it, get ready for the next week, and let's go play.
Up the middle, it's Chubb. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4. Now the Bengals going to use the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this.
They've created a nice sustained drive off of plays like that. A nice strong run there that keeps them advancing the ball.
Six yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4. They'll try a little trickery here on the end around. And that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line. Now a second timeout called for by the defense. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this fourth quarter of play. So 3rd down now. They need the 27-yard line for a first. Now Watson. Ball had his hands on it, couldn't bring it in. Pretty symptomatic of how this game's been going.
They lead big, and a major part of that has been how they've taken their play to a whole new level this second half. No points allowed since the break, and you can add another incompletion to the total number that they forced in this runaway contest.
Desperation time. Watson on 4th down. Got a man. It's Schwartz complete. He will have the conversion and more than that. And he's across for the touchdown. Too little, too late, but he does get in for 6.
No wonder you're grinning. You just beat me in our fantasy league.
Indeed I did, my good man. So still throwing here in the fourth quarter with a pretty sizable lead, and now that lead even more sizable. And if nothing else here, CD, a chance to pile on some stats before this one wraps up, and he did just that.
Brandon, convention tells us it's time for them to get off the gas a little bit, right? But you and I both know the receivers don't want them to, because, as you noted, this is their chance to pile on the stats. If they got their way, they try to get every single spot in the depth chart points before this game is over.
This fielded right at the goal line. And he won't quite make it to the 25.
Here we go. 11, Thomas. 12.
They'll start this drive out on the ground. And we will get a timeout with 2 ticks left. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be second down.
Here we go.
Now whistles and a flag, and I believe a Bengal got going a little early there.
Here we go.
This will be a short gain of 3 before he's brought down at the 22. Charles, a lot of happy faces heading into the tunnel as this one ends, and understandably so. Not only did they get the win, but boy, their offense was on fire in this ball game.
And partner, I have no idea what the top speed is on one of those high-end sports cars. What's the top gear you can get into? This offense, they certainly were there in this one, huh? Everything clicking for them in this contest, the kind of performance that they're going to cherish.
So for Cincinnati, they boost their record up to a strong 4-1. And they'll have another road date next week with the Los Angeles Rams. Meanwhile, for Cleveland, the loss will move them back to 3-2 on the year. And they'll be on the road next week as they travel to Pittsburgh to take on the Steelers.